Well, hello there. My name is Tasty, and this is Random Game Reviews, where today we're going to be looking at the Switch and PC version of Graveyard Keeper. Now, that's right, a good old-fashioned comparison slash review episode. Before that, let's go ahead and start the show. Like I said, we're going to be looking at the good, the bad, and the flesh of Graveyard Keeper, both on the Switch and the PC. I have some words to say about the Switch version, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. And we're not going to do a gameplay video where I show, the first 20 minutes of the gameplay, just because I did play so much of it on the PC and the Switch that I want to go ahead and just look at both of them. And we're not going to look at the actual store page either. I will be tallying up to decide who's the winner of the game version, the Switch or the PC, to, break that down for you. I'm just kidding, Well, we got a taste rating scale, and today we'll be using beep boop beep. No. We used surprise chicken last week. Let's go ahead and do that again to see what else we can get. Beep boop beep. Okay, flesh sandwich. I guess that's from all the skin sandwiches you eat in the game. As always, we're going to be looking at the gameplay, the sound and looks, and the actual story of the game. Not a whole lot comparison-wise between the looks and the story-wise, but there is a lot to say about the gameplay for the Switch and the PC version there. Well, as always, if you guys did like this video, we'll go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe for keeping up to date on everything random here in the channel. Let's go ahead and jump on into the gameplay. A little bit of info as to what Graveyard Keeper is that it's a sim management game at its core, and it is one of the weirdest stories for this style of game. And if you don't know what a sim management game is, it's a game where you upkeep something, like a farm or a graveyard in this instance. You build things to help out around the town or the village that you're in to gain, boost stat points with the people around the town, or, you use it to build things around your workshop as far as like making firewood, to put in your forge, to smelt down iron ores into iron bars, that kind of things. You can also make zombie minions to help out with work around your graveyard, and that's just a tiny bit of what you can do at the core of its game. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of the differences on the actual gameplay between the Switch and the PC version here. Now, one of the big differences in Graveyard Keeper, as you can see here, is in the menu layout. When it comes to the Switch side of things, you have the right and left bumper to go right and left inside of here. You use the joystick to kind of go around on things when it comes to the Switch version of things. And then, whereas here on the PC, you're going to use your mouse to go back and forth to drag the little side panels here, and then click on the actual tabs at the top when you want to go to one. If you want to go up and down on the PC, you just kind of scroll. And to get in and out of the menu, you're pressing tab, which is a lot different than pressing the the select button on a controller or anything along those lines here. With that said, this next point is going to go towards the PC side of things, because as you can see, up here with this tree, I can clip myself underneath it, which is a minor annoyance, and the developers have been very fast on fixing bugs in the game, so I imagine that this will be fixed relatively quickly, but it is one of the things that I do find annoying in the game. But besides that, everything else is pretty much the same when it comes to gameplay. It's just different button layouts with it essentially. But I do find myself, needing to do a lot more in the game. Even later on, there's so much to do in this game that it's just hard to compact it all into one video. And to even cut down on some of that time here, we have a zombie farm, a zombie sawmill, and lastly but not leastly, we have a zombie quarry slash mine. So, even with those things out of the way for me to, loosen up my time, if you do things right with the morgue, you won't find yourself lacking a lot of times. And even now, as I'm like watching the time go by, I don't like it. But it is one of those things that there's just so much to do in the game, and it gives you so little time, it feels like, to do it, that 17 hours flies by so quick. But now that we've gotten, a good chunk of a comparison out of the way for gameplay for in between the Switch and the PC side, let's go ahead and give it a taste rating. So for this section, for the Switch having a few bugs and a couple annoyances that I just, it is okay to get past them and a little bit easy to get past them for the game, but it's going to bring it down to a 3 out of 5. And for the PC side of things, it is really solid gameplay. I'll give it that, but it could be a little bit more, there. I don't know. It does get to a certain point where you can't upgrade anymore, so I would like them to add more in later on. That would be kind of cool. So it's going to get a 4 out of 5 flesh sandwiches. Now that we've gone and give it a rating, let's go ahead and move on over to the looks and sound. Now, when it does come to the looks and sound of the game, there's not much of a difference when it comes to a comparison between the Switch and the PC versions of the game. There's only two differences when it comes to the actual changing of things, and that's the resolution and the VSync. You don't get those on the console version, but you do get those on the PC side of things. So you can change the resolution, make it look better, or you can dumb it down to make it look as dumb as you want, and turn VSync on and off on the PC side. But there is one other thing that I did want to note that's a huge bug, in my opinion, when it does come to enjoying the looks and sounds of the game, because there are a lot of, nice little cutscenes that you get with your different, NPC characters that you're talking to throughout the game. One of them here that you're seeing is that it cuts off the top parts, or sometimes the bottom parts, depending on where your character is on the screen. Sometimes it gets the whole thing on there, but you can't see the dialogue, which there's no voice acting, so it is a little hard to get everything that's going on. Luckily, for me, I have the PC side, so I have played through some of that, so I know what's going on. But somebody that just picks this up on the console version might be a little confused as to what's going on inside the story there. Well, when it comes to the actual rating, down to it, there's only that one difference. So I'm going to give the Switch side of things of 3 out of 5 flesh sandwiches, and then the PC side of things, since it is so great and I love the soundtrack, I can listen to that all day long, it's getting a 5 out of 5 flesh sandwiches. Now let's go ahead and look at some story. I'm not going to give away all of the story, and if you don't want to know any of the story, I want you to go ahead and skip to this part now with the timestamp that is on the screen. If you don't leave in the next 5 seconds here, I'm going to go ahead and start giving away a little bit of the story that you might not want to hear. I think it's been longer than 5 seconds. I don't know. I'm just keep rambling here. Let's go ahead and start with a little bit of that story here. So, with diving into the beginning of the story, you start off with, going home from work and picking up that gallon of milk that your wife asked for. And as you cross the road, something tragic happens. And all of a sudden, you wake up in this place that you don't know what's going on, and you have to dig up a talking skull to guide you. Now, I know that doesn't sound too interesting, as far as stories go, but I did just say you dig up a talking skull to guide you around and to help you show the ropes around the actual, graveyard. And I do like how they make that kind of disjointed, worlds coming together there, where you die in one and wake up in another, and everything's different, and you have to figure out what's right and what's wrong. So it is actually, something that I do, thoroughly enjoy. Like I said, it's a weird take on this type of genre, where you have games like Stardew Valley, where you just go and get your grandpa's farm after he dies, or Harvest Moon, where you're just building your own farm to help out your family and stuff, and even Animal Crossing, where it's just a social simulator where you're kind of building up and making friends and everything. This just kind of goes out of left field and gives you a graveyard with everything there. And I have to say that both sides are going to get a whopping 5 out of 5 sandwiches whenever it comes to the story side of thing. I don't want to give away too much more, so I'm not going to dive in too deep. If you do want more of the story and that sounds interesting, talking skulls and zombies and eating flesh sandwiches, which, duh, that is interesting when it comes to video games, not real life so much, but we're not Jeffrey Dahmer here. Then go pick up this game either on the Switch, the PC, Xbox, or PlayStation. I'm not too sure about PlayStation. I know it's on Xbox as I saw it on my Game Pass, but it's just a great game. And now that we've wrapped up the story, let's go ahead and move into the actual closing here. As you can see, both games did out pretty well when it comes to rating wise here. They're pretty equal except for a few minor details, and really some details you wouldn't really notice unless you bought both copies and spent hours upon hours on them like I did. What I'm really trying to say is that this video was pointless, but you guys did make it to the end, so I might as well give you that final rating of how each average did. As you can see on either side here, we got the Switch on one side, PC on the other, and the Switch got a 3.6 flesh sandwiches, and the PC got 4.6 flesh sandwiches out of 5. And that's our show for today, folks. I hope you guys did like it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know that I'm doing something that you enjoyed watching. And if you did like it, why are you not subscribing and keeping up to date? I do have some more content coming out soon, and I hope you guys stick around to keep out for that. And I will drop a actual Let's Play video for a game tomorrow, so that way you guys can at least get a Let's Play out of me before the weekend's up here. As always, my name is Tasty, and I poop my pants. Thank you for watching.